I remember talking to you about buying your second truck.
Yeah.
So you were going from a one truck organization, you broke $1 million, right?
Yes.
When you started 4 years ago, were you thinking that you'd break $1 million at some point?
I was just a frontline employee, and I bought a mower, and I was driving around in a Jeep Liberty. I just said, you know, if I'm gonna do this, I should just go in all the way, and I invested in a truck, a website. I dabbled into the snow, and now that I'm here, it's just the amount of revenue that we've built over the years, remarkable.
So how many trucks do you have now?
We have.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Landscaper's Guide podcast. Today I'm on the SIMA Symposium podcast central stage with Jacob Peffer from GreenerConcepts. This is his third time on the show.
Third time, yeah.
And so for folks who maybe this is the first interview that they've seen between you and me, tell people a little bit about yourself and what do you do?
Yeah, so I started the business about 3.5 years ago, and I won the Alan Steinman Scholarship in 22, and I got the free trip here, and I just wanted to take in all the knowledge that I could. We do landscape maintenance primarily, and then that first year I came here and I won was the first year I started doing snow, and then it's just, snowball effect.
What percentage of your revenue last year in 2024 was snow, roughly?
I would say 10-15%.
And is that roughly what you want moving forward? Or are you looking to grow snow to be a bigger part of it, or what are you thinking?
I would like it to be. I do enjoy a lot of the landscape maintenance. If we could get, we're in PA, so it's either it doesn't snow or it snows a lot.
Yeah.
And I think the last year we got really lucky with the amount of snowfall we got, and it actually boosted up our percentage.
Good. Well, and so tell us, what was that scholarship? So for people listening, this is one of the coolest parts of the Snow and Ice Management Association, SIMA, I think, is that they have this, and it's like a legit scholarship.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about it.
So you get free travel, you get a travel stipend, and then you get to come here and attend a bunch of classes and expand your network and just gain so much knowledge and actually apply stuff to the snow industry, which is what I love. It's helped me grow exponentially.
And so are you like 25 now?
I just turned 24.
Or 24?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you started this though when you were like 20?
20, yeah. I was 20.
Okay, so you just turned 24. You're in your fourth year of business.
Yeah.
I remember talking to you about buying your second truck.
Yeah.
So you were going from a one truck organization to 2 trucks.
Yep.
And then we've been texting, and you broke $1 million, right?
Yes. So we have about $1 million in sold work currently, and I think if sales keep going, we should get around 1.1 to 1.2 this year
For 2025?
For 2025.
Dude, that is so cool.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yep.
So when you started 4 years ago, were you thinking that you'd break $1 million at some point, or like were you thinking it was just like, what was it like when you just started out? Was it just a hobby, or was it like not a hobby, but
it was more so I was working for a franchise landscape company, and I just enjoyed cutting the grass. That's all I did. I was just a frontline employee, and I bought a mower, and I was driving around in a Jeep Liberty with a trailer and a mower, and then I just said, if I'm going to do this, I should just go in all the way, and I invested in a truck, a website. I started doing door hangers, and it just kept building and building and building, and then I dabbled into the snow, and now that I'm here, it's just the amount of revenue that we've built over the years, remarkable.
That's cool, man. So how many trucks do you have now?
We have 5.
You have 5.
I just
bought my 5th one last Monday, and it was the first one I could get approved for with just the business.
What did you learn from the mentorship that has paid off, that you implemented? Were there any specific ideas or ways of thinking that shifted for you that?
I think not being afraid to ask for advice, being ignorant in understanding that you don't know a lot, and just swallowing advice from people that are better than you, or at least are doing more, and just taking all the information they have and applying it.
Yeah, absolutely. So being coachable, really, I think is what you're talking about.
Yes.
In some ways, and that requires being humble.
Yeah.
To meet with people and be like, okay, there is another way. I'm open to feedback. And then also you got to then decide. So that's been the thing that I found in business is that being coachable and always learning, I'm always reading books and listening to podcasts, and I have various mentors, and then there's a lot of stuff where like, okay, here's some information, I need to decide now what I'm gonna do next.
Yeah, there's definitely some discernment in that, because there's some folks here that, you know, I respect, and they might do things a different way that, you know, maybe not works for me, or that I've actually tried doing and it didn't, you know, it's not applicable to how I want to do things. But asking good questions to everybody here, because, you know, they all know something I don't.
That's good. So what are you working on now in the business?
I'm still juggling everything, from sales, operations, marketing, the day-to-day stuff, and it's extremely frustrating.
I believe it.
Because I'm hitting a ceiling. I know the ideas and where I want to be, and figuring out where that is sometimes hard to grasp. So really, I think the most important thing now is trying to build up a team so they can actually help me with some of that workload. And the operations manager is something I remember last year we talked about that.
Yeah, that was my number one tip was, hey, you got to get an operations person.
Yeah.
I know that takes a lot of money.
Yes.
Too, and that, you know, growing past $1 million is so hard.
Yeah.
It's so hard, and like taking on loans for 5 vehicles and all of the equipment that comes, like, so there's a lot of overhead, and it sounds really simple to, oh, why don't you go hire an operations person? It's like, well, now you've got the payroll of somebody that maybe isn't billable.
Yeah, not producing revenue, but is helping, you know, get the work done.
Yeah. So how often are you meeting with your employees?
I'm at the shop every day. I think the big problem is I don't really have team meetings.
Oh. You don't have like a daily huddle?
No. So if there's really important, time-sensitive things, we'll have a little huddle. I haven't had a structured meeting, but that is something that I am going to start doing, because I went to a class today about the structured meetings. So I'm like, I need to do this.
Yeah, I'll share with you, man. I used to run the worst meetings, and one of my employees probably listening, and they're like, they're still not that great. No, they're actually pretty good. But I used to bring everyone together. I knew we needed to meet, and I didn't have an agenda, and I didn't know what we were meeting about. It was unclear who was leading and when was it ending, and like, eventually, like some of the people working for me were like, what are we doing? Yeah. And they were really frustrated with me, rightfully so, that I wasn't leading the meeting. Yeah. And then I read the book Traction. And Traction is have you read it? Yeah. Okay, so Traction has their level 10 meeting format, and that helped, but I also found that was a little too rigid, because I like to have some time, partly we're meeting to talk. Yeah. And like we need to have some space to like, hey, what do you think about this? So it's a balance, because you've got people, and I've heard many people. What did you learn about meetings though today? What were they saying for snow and landscape companies?
I think we're just having like something that's structured, that the employees know that's happening on this day. It's happening this day. You need to have an agenda. You need to have like a timekeeper so things don't go astray. Yeah. And then if something is off subject, you put it in the parking lot.
Yeah. So we have a Google Doc for our company meeting, and I have company headlines. These are announcements. People also add when they're out of office. That's not how we actually track paid time off, but it's more of like, hey guys, by the way, I'm going to be out of town. So people know, and we're like, oh, so-and-so's out of town, like we got to plan for that. People can add headlines to their like discussion topics. And so, or one of the headlines is, hey, we're going to the SIMA Symposium and we're going to see clients A, B, C, and D. Are there any things we should know before we see them? Like, oh yeah, this is off track, or this is really on track. You should ask them about that. Yeah, yeah. So people are generally aware, and then we have our core value announcements. Mm-hmm. So we we have a game. It's a bingo board where each week you can nominate someone for the core value.
So you're making it fun.
I'm making it fun, and then at the end of the month, if you have won the most nominations, you get to pick a prize, and these prizes are in the like $150 to $250 range. Wow. They're like gift cards to Cabela's. They are a Massage Envy gift card. There's a Visa gift card. There is restaurant stuff. Yeah. So they're like, that's kind of cool. I just got a pretty cool little spiff from work, and it's positive. So it has some positive work. And then we do move on into our sections of clients. So we have sales and marketing, what's coming through the pipeline. Then we have our projects. These are our like clients in the first build phase, and then we have our ongoing clients, and we have them rated red, yellow, green. So that's where then the issues come up. Like, so for you, like the Smith residence is in the red because we didn't blow we didn't blow their sidewalk.
There's a complaint.
And there's a complaint. And maybe you don't need to wait a whole week to deal with that, but you could at least tell people how it was handled.
Yeah. Adding scorecards too.
We have a scorecard
is something
in there
that I
too.
need to incorporate. So I hit a ceiling where I actually need to build more process behind my operations because there's too much going on that I'm not tracking, and I need to be doing it now.
Well, and so part of traction is everyone has a number. And I'm currently revamping my numbers for people. Because I've been doing it for 7 years. And it took years, by the way, to like get this agenda to what I just told you in like 4 minutes. That took a long time to figure out, and I'm pretty happy with it, partly because I can look at that agenda and have a pulse on the company. These clients are in the red, yellow, green. Here are these numbers. Like the fact that people need to help prepare that helps everyone see, all right, here's how we're doing this week. And so I like the weekly meeting because a lot can go by in 4 weeks, but if we're looking at it every week.
And I think also with I'm going to start with like weekly stuff, and then start doing one-on-ones, because I think it's difficult to kind of gauge the culture in a sense for in a team meeting, because a lot of my guys are younger. They might not speak up in a team meeting.
A lot of my folks are older and they don't speak up in it. So a lot of people are not going to speak up in the team meeting.
So I think the one-on-ones would be really, really beneficial for them.
Well, I totally agree. I think that you need to have, and this is how I do my own marketing, multiple ways to respond. So meaning some people might want to meet one-on-one and talk. Some people might want to fill out a document ahead of the meeting with some questions. They might want to type, they might want to write some stuff. So,
I'm already thinking of people that are more like, they're more rigid, more hard-headed. Some of them are more softer, and they want to have a more emotional conversation. You know, some people just want to be like, do this, and then go do it.
Yeah, so that's probably been the biggest thing I've learned in management is that, people are different, and they're going to want to, you kind of need to adapt to how they'll want to communicate. You still need to do what you need to do.
Yeah, that's what I'm struggling
There's
with.
like a give and take there.
I want to talk to everybody. And there's some of the guys love them to death, but they just don't want to talk.
Well, so one of the tools we use is Team Engine. We're a partner with Team Engine. Have you met them?
I've heard of them.
Yeah, so they have a booth here, and one of the things that they do that I do this quarterly. I get how are you feeling about working here on a scale of 0 to 10? And then the follow-up question is, why did you share that number? And the purpose of that is always to start a follow-up conversation. Meaning, like, I'm getting some feedback, I'm getting a pulse on how people are feeling, and like, hey, you're feeling a 6? Like, tell me more.
And then after they tell you, what's your approach after that fact of having that follow-up?
Well, I think part of it is sometimes the conversation alone is
just acknowledging it.
Just acknowledging and helping people feel heard and listened to, and giving them a forum to let them know, like, I want to hear from you. We actually have a paid benefit during the summer where we have a paid Monday off. So for us, our busy season is actually October through March. Like, we are slammed.
That makes sense.
Because everyone wants to hire us to get ready for the spring in their off season. This time of year, like, clients meet with us, but like, they're way less interested. So I was like, well, people are really putting it in during the fall and winter. So I'm gonna have this paid perk in the summer. And I rolled out the 4-day work week, and one of my employees, I think he gave me a 5, and he's like, I don't like that I'm making 25% less during the summer. And I called him and I was like, hey, what do you mean? And he's like, well, you're not gonna pay us for that 5th day. I'm like, no, it's a paid day off. You just got 12 extra paid days off. And he's like, holy crap, that's amazing. So that was like a 4-minute phone call. And had I not done that, that guy probably would have quit. He was probably getting ready to look for a new job. And the fact that we had a 4-minute phone call because I didn't communicate clearly enough, obviously, that it was paid. Now we had a call. So I think it leads to those types of things. Or maybe somebody's really feeling overworked, or maybe they're in the wrong seat on the bus.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you have like, I don't know, as you grow, there's people work and then there's the task work. And some people want to be in the people role and some people really don't.
Yeah.
And so I had somebody that was feeling that 4 or 5 out of 10, and it ultimately realized like they were in the wrong position at the company.
What is one thing that I may not realize or I might be looking over?
I don't know. I think you're doing great with marketing. I think you have to get the operations person. I think having a clear goal and having a vision of where you want to head. Because I think in the first 5 years of business, I don't know if it was like, it seemed like you did something well, like you got mentors early, whereas like I was just running and gunning, selling things. I had no idea what to charge.
Yeah.
I was so undercharging, and I caused so many problems. But then eventually I figured out what I wanted to do. I just think keep going.
Yeah.
And then I like traction partly because there's something in there. There's the 10-year target, which is like, hey, here's where we're heading 10 years from now.
Yeah, you got your 1, 3, 5, and 10.
And I found that really getting clear though on 3 is important.
Okay.
Because I think 3 is actually more attainable.
Yeah.
Like 5 years ago, COVID happened. Can you believe that was 5 years ago?
That's crazy.
You know, so like that was 5 years ago. So when I think about anything greater than 5 years from now, I don't know what kind of really big shift could come within that time. And hey, there could be another COVID or something in 3 years, but I don't know. Focusing on 3 years has been meaningful to me, because then when I share that with my team, they see if I have the right people, they're like, oh, I want to help us get there.
Yeah.
And I've found that you need to over communicate, and that means I'm gonna have a different position open.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, I was about to leave because I didn't think we were growing.
It's an easier buy-in if it's closer.
And I think this is some of the like visionary stuff that I personally and I see many snow and landscape companies overlook as like business consultant speak. But in reality, your employees want to know, like, is there a career path for me? I understand that I need to mow these lawns this week, but like, what are we doing next year?
Yeah. Give them a plan, so to speak.
And so the way that I do that, and I need to do it for this quarter, because right now it's June, and our next quarter starts in July. And so I have this document from Traction called VTO. It's a visionary or vision traction organizer. So I built mine in Apple Keynote. Do you use Apple or PowerPoint or?
PowerPoint. Yeah,
okay, so basically you make a PowerPoint, and then I update it every quarter, and I show people the vision, the 10-year target, and then I also show them, by the way, here's one that we did 3 years ago, and check out all the things. Check out all the things that we've done.
I've never thought about that.
And then people are like, oh, okay, so like you've grown the company in the way that you said that you would.
Yeah.
And you did hire these people that you said you would, and like I believe you.
It builds trust with you.
Yeah. Because I'll tell you, man, like I think this year right now, the hiring market is kind of soft, meaning there's like the pendulum has swung a little bit back in the employer's direction as far as hiring, but that's going to change again, and it's going to be hard to recruit and hire and retain. Yeah. It's kind of like this swinging pendulum, and it's like, well, how is the economy? And it's like do you agree with that? Is that kind of how this year is?
Honestly, I've had better luck hiring the younger generation.
Okay.
You know, a lot of people, at least in my industry, you know, I can't find guys that work, and I have had, I guess, tremendous luck finding really young employees that would just work. I've had bad luck with the ones that are older, actually.
Was there any hesitancy for you to manage them because they were older than you?
I would say my first and second year there was. I honestly think that my confidence grew as you know, I know what I'm doing. And this is how I want it done, and if you're not doing it, we're going to have a conversation.
Good. I love hearing that.
Yeah.
I started my company when I was your age. I was 23.
Yeah.
And so I went through hiring people who were 18, 19, 20. I also had people who were 60 plus. And I was like, I had head trash for a while of like, oh, I can't manage this person. They're older than me.
Yeah.
And similarly, oh, I can't manage this person.
Yeah.
I'm like the same age as them. So
Yeah,
I'm their buddy. And that's nonsense.
Yeah, even in that second and last year, I would sometimes not hire them because they were, older. But I did hire people that were older than me, and some of them are still here.
Good.
I think I can have more difficult or more open conversations with them because they're a little bit more mature.
Yeah.
The younger guys, again, they tend not to speak up as much as I would like to, and that might be, it's probably my fault maybe. But,
well, and I think that if you start building in ways for them to speak up.
Yes.
Of like, so this is the weekly meeting, and like if you have a weekly one-on-one with people, man, that's the best.
Yeah.
I do that with all the people who are my direct reports. We meet every week.
Yeah.
We actually meet for an hour.
Wow.
But we're also, I don't know. That works for me. You figure out maybe it's 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't want to get hung up on the time, but having that time to talk is so important to partly just build a relationship.
Yep.
Like, hey man, how was your weekend? Genuinely getting to know people, because when you're just grinding through the work, you kind of miss that stuff.
Yeah, because there's one employee I have, and a lot of the guys have come from referrals.
Yeah.
And the one, I hired him, and actually I didn't even interview him. Like, my buddy said, hey, he's a great worker. I said, cool, he can start tomorrow.
That sounds a little risky to me.
It was, but at the time this year, I way overbooked our routes, and I needed somebody, and he's here still.
Okay.
Kills it.
So this is another thing. Now that you said that, so you're not alone doing that, and I've done that, and I think the landscape industry is notorious for that. They're like, hey, you got a pulse? You're live? Can you show up on Monday? Like, great. Here's 20 grand worth of equipment and one of my clients. Why don't you go mow the lawn?
But the employee that was working for me, it carried some weight because he had a good employee.
Okay, all right. Well, all right. So I would create a recruiting and onboarding system. You need an operations person.
I do.
You need it. All right, look,
horrible.
Look, that's still the takeaway. You got it, because you got to have somebody who does that. Somebody who would enjoy doing that.
Yeah, and I don't like doing it.
For sure, you don't. I don't either. But I'll tell you, man. I just so I'm in 16 years this year in business, and
congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
And I made some big mistakes last year, and I realized that my onboarding for a certain position was, 10% of what it needed to be.
Yeah.
And here's what it cost me. I had several people come through who failed in the role, partly because they weren't a fit, but partly because they didn't have the resources they need. And I had a lot of clients leave. And I'm like, yeah, you should have left. Like, we did a terrible job.
Yeah.
To me, that's also what's humbling about business is like, even 16 years in, you're like, wow, I just got my ass kicked by something I didn't do that's really obvious. Like, of course I should have had a better onboarding for this position. It's like super important. So that's been my focus this year, and I actually did that job for a number of clients, and I had some of my managers do the job, and we collaborated on the management system and onboarding for that role, and it's better than ever.
Sweet.
But it also meant, though, I've got some people I got to call and be like, hey, last year when you fired me, like, thank you, one, good job for firing me, and two, here's what I've done about it. And I think that I will potentially get some of those relationships back, but
it's awesome that you called them after, though, too. Like, that's cool.
Well, it's partly as your company grows, like, you're going to have customers that you don't ever meet.
Yeah.
And they're going to have this experience with somebody that you hired, and they're going to screw up at some point, and they're going to fire your company.
Yeah.
And at some point, like, you got to call them and have a slice of humble pie on the phone and be like, hey, I'm sorry that this happened, and here's what I've done about it. I'm so grateful for this industry. And I just love coming to this show and meeting you.
Yep.
I was looking forward to interviewing you. And the industry, and the mentorship that you're talking about, the people who give so much, it's an incredible industry.
Just before this podcast, I was just picking someone's brain for about a half hour. I'm at this stage. What do I do? What do I do next? What's the next thing I need to focus on? What am I missing? And then how do I get to your stage? And it's just like they just want to help. So it feels good.
Cool, man. Well, Jacob, what are we going to talk about next year? So are you going to have a manager?
We're gonna have. I gotta get one.
Okay,
I'm making
so-
the promise to you now. I'm gonna have an operations manager in place,
And how about an onboarding?
and I'll have an onboarding process, a good one, because I have it, just never follow it.
Yeah.
Because again, I'm just too. Yeah, you're hired. Come on, and then that's it.
Well, there's got to be more to it than that, though.
Yeah, there is. I mean,
right?
I just don't like following like a reading on a piece of paper. Hey, can you tell me about yourself? I just don't think it's genuine. So I try when they come in and have an interview, I just try to have a simple conversation and just get to know them.
The number one thing that worked for me was adding in a skills assessment.
A skills assessment.
Yes. So for me, I do digital work, right? We work in Google Drive.
Yeah.
So that is a requirement to work at my company. And so my skills assessment is kind of basic stuff, like in an account-facing role, I need people to listen to what's an unusual town that you were, it's like hard to spell. What's a town in your area that, are there any that are like, if you didn't live there, it'd be difficult to...
Zillionopol.
Oh, that's so weird, right? So Zillionopol, okay, I would have them listen to an interview with a client and be like, yeah, we want to rank in Zillionopol, Pennsylvania for landscape design. Mm-hmm. And so they need to learn how to find that word, spell it correctly, share a Google Doc with me, and type up a follow-up email to you that's like, hey Jacob, great meeting. We're going to be building out your next web page on Zillionopol landscape design, and it's going to be done by this date. And please let me know if you whatever. So I'm testing. Can you at least Google Zillionopol? Like if you couldn't Google Zillionopol, like and figure out
Something
the correct
so simple, but it's like
like,
maybe they're not.
You wouldn't believe how many people come through that wouldn't put two and two together and Google it and like be resourceful to find it, right? And like spell it correctly and click spell check.
Yeah.
Like if you can't do that, you can't hang.
You're not being hired.
Right? And then share the Google Doc with admin@ramblinjackson.com. Well, did they share it with Jack at Ramblin' Jackson, or did they share it with admin at? Because those little things in my world create a world of hurt.
Yeah.
Like if you can't share the Google
You sent it
Doc,
to the wrong person.
if you can't share it with the right team member, like, I don't know, a whole day could go by before that person can then do their job of building the Zillionopol page. So that's, I've heard, some people have like a working interview. So I don't know, for me, like I found like I used to do the beer interview. I used to meet people for beer. And if you were cool and I liked you, like I would hire you. I'm not kidding.
Wow.
I made a lot of problems for myself by basically being like, oh, gut feel, are you cool? Like, you're cool, like, you're cool. And
Which honestly, it's like I have questions that I'll ask, but it's not structured. Like I'll start a conversation, build a little bit of a relationship.
The other amazing thing that's changed so much, even since you and I met, is ChatGPT.
Oh my God, I use it every day.
Yeah. So like in hiring, like you can build out a job description,
I've
interview
used it for
questions.
that.
Here's how it went. What do you think?
Yeah.
Like, so ChatGPT is this amazing.
Yeah, it's built interview questions for me, and it's actually helped me build my employee manual, my employee handbook.
AI is changing everything. In my opinion, it mainly just frees up, to me, like the way I'm using it is to free up time for the people stuff.
Yes.
So the one-on-one meetings and like everything you're talking about is so on track.
Yeah.
I'm trying. I just feel behind still, and that's.
I think that's just the feeling.
It's just the feeling, yeah. It's just frustration because that, like I said, I'm at a ceiling.
Do you track your renewal rate for customers?
I did in the beginning of the year, but I forget what the number is.
Because I'm obsessing my company around that number.
On retention.
And the reason is, in order to get retention, we need to do quality work.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of basic stuff, like our invoice issues handled promptly. A lot of people get frustrated, like everyone knows that, oh, this is the company goal, is to renew and retain clients.
I think we had about a 60, I think it was like 65 or 70% was our retention, off the top of my head.
What happened to the 30 or 40%?
Some of them moved.
Okay.
Unfortunately, some of them actually passed away. I think 3 of them passed away. And then quality.
Quality.
And honestly,
Okay.
it was honestly my ability to communicate to customers was the biggest thing.
Yeah.
And it was because I was in the field constantly, and I changed one little detail that takes 5 minutes of my time. Is if we have a service delay, or if there's a hiccup, or if we're at this SIMA, the show, one bulk email to our maintenance customers, I'll let them know what's happening on that specific week, and then all of those problems where people were texting me where you're at, this happened this week, went away. And it's remarkable the amount of people that have actually emailed me back saying, I've never experienced somebody in your industry email me.
Well, that's
communicating.
I agree with you, and we track when a client doesn't renew, why, and some of them are valid reasons, like they retired, or they moved, or they went out of business, or they sold their landscape company. But when there's a quality issue, then that's when I review that very publicly with my team. Like, hey, this customer had this experience, and how can we do better at this? And all right, well, Jacob, hey, it's been really fun.
Yep.
And I'll look forward to talking to you next year.
Absolutely.
And keeping in touch with you. You're doing so many things great.
Thank you.
And keep learning and growing and talking to people.
I will, certainly.
I'm excited for you, man.
Thank you.
Thank you. If you enjoyed today's conversation, make sure you like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel for weekly updates to help you grow your snow and landscape company. My name's Jack Jostes, and click the link at the end of this video for the next one.